You ever wake up in the dead of a Montana winter, staring out at a blizzard that's burying the world under feet of snow, and wonder if you're the only soul left alive out there? Yeah, that was me, Sarah Harlan, ex-Army Ranger, 34 years old, holed up in a creaky little shack off the edge of Glacier National Park, 6 months after the Army kicked me to the curb with an honorable discharge that tasted like bullshit. I'd seen too much in those sandpits overseas, reported a chain of command that turned a blind eye to assaults on our own women like me, getting chewed up and spat out, and suddenly, I was the problem, shipped off to some psych eval that felt more like a cover-up than care. So I ran, or hid, whatever you call it, to this frozen nowhere called Frost Hollow, where the pines whisper secrets to the wind and nobody asks why you're buying ammo and canned beans with cash every week. The storm that night? It hit like God's own hammer. 3 days of wide-out fury that turned the trails into death traps. But I was ready, always am. Old habits die hard. That's when I heard it, faint under the howl, like claws scraping wood, and a whimper that punched me right in the gut, the kind that says, "I'm done, but please, just one more breath." I cracked the door, wind slapping my face like it had a grudge, and there he was curled up on the porch steps, this massive black and silver German shepherd, ribs showing through a coat matted with blood and ice. Cuts on his flanks so clean they scream knife work, not claws or accident. Restraint burns around his neck, raw and deliberate, like someone had chained him and yanked till he bled just to make a point. My heart dropped. Those eyes, brown and sharp, even half shut, locked on mine with this look, not begging, but trusting, like he knew I'd get it. Military dog, no doubt, from the build, the tattoo faded inside his earsome Delta unit marker, probably. I scooped him up, lighter than he should have been, all that muscle wasted down to bones, and hauled him inside, kicking the door shut on the gale. Laid him by the stove, fire roaring now, and got to work with my kit, the one I kept from the field, stitches and salve, and that low murmur you use on a buddy who's leaking life. "Hang in there, big guy," I whispered, threading the needle. "Whoever carved you up like this? They're gonna choke on their own regret." Hours blurred, me watching his chest rise and fall, shallower than I'd like, but steadying as the warmth hit him. By dawn, those eyes cracked open, scanning the room like he was clearing it for threats, then settling on mere cognition. Yeah, the kind that says you've both worn the uniform, even if his was fur and fangs. Took a few days for the storm to piss off and him to start moving. But damn if he didn't heal like a warrior up on shaky legs by day 3. Lapping broth I warmed with honey, tail thumping once when I called him Sergeant, then Major, before settling on Ranger, cause he moved like one, all coiled power and quiet scan. Forgot how good it felt, having something to fight for again, you know? Those empty mornings in the shack, just me and the ghosts' missions gone sideways, sisters in arms who vanished into personality disorders after reporting the wrong hands on them. It all quieted a bit with him nosing my hand for scratches. But day 4, shit changed. He was dozing by the fire when his head snapped up, ears perked like radar. Then he was at the north window, staring into the white void of pines, body rigid, a whine building low in his throat, not scared, but urgent, like a mission clock ticking down. Paced to the door, back to the window, barking sharp once, twice, eyes on me like, "You hearing this? Move." I tried distracting food, a stick from outside, but nada. He scratched gouges in the floorboards, trembling with it. And that whine? Broke me, the sound of unfinished business, the kind I'd heard in my own head after ops where we left folks behind. Nights were hell, him posted at the glass like a sentinel, me tossing in bed wondering if it was trauma flashbacks or something real. But by morning, nah, this wasn't panic, it was purpose. I'd trusted gut calls in the suck that saved platoons. Why not him? Packed my ruck GPS, flares, sidearm that felt heavier than habit now laced boots, and said, "All right, Ranger, lead on, but if this is you chasing ghosts, we're both wolf chow." We plunged into it, that forest swallowing us like it owned the cold knee-deep drifts, turning every step to a fight. But Ranger cut through like he'd mapped it in blood, pausing every 100 yards to glance back, patient as hell, like, "Keep up, human." 2 hours in, sun dipping low, and I got Ithis wasn't wandering. He was navigating, skirting blowdowns and creek traps under the snow, head low now, stalking mode, nose twitching the air. My pulse kicked up, hand on the Glock under my parka, moving silent as we crested a ridge. Valley below, tucked in a clearing log cabin, smoke lazy from the stack, but chains, thick as my wrist, looped round the door like a goddamn cage, padlock glinting mean. No tracks out, just in someone trapped, alive but not free. Ranger dropped belly flat, crawling to peer, and I followed, heart hammering. Faint through the logs, a voice-old woman, raspy whisper. Please, if anyone's out there. My blood iced, then boiled that rage from my discharge days. The one that said, fuck your tidy narratives, this is real. We circled back, me bolt cutters snipping chain with a crack that echoed too loud, door creaking open on hinges that screamed neglect. Inside, dim as a foxhole, embers dying in the hearth, and there she was huddled on a cot under threadbare blankets. Mid-70s maybe, white hair tangled, wrists chafed raw from cuffs, eyes hollow but flickering when Ranger bounded straight to her, nosing her hand gentle. Easy, boy Rusty, she breathed, voice cracking like dry leaves, hand burying in his fur like an anchor. Relief hit her face, tears carving tracks in the grime. I knelt, keeping low. Ma'am, Sarah Harlan, we're getting you out. But talk to me, you hurt bad? Evelyn Grant pushed up slow, bones brittle under skin, but fire in her eyes. Thirsty mostly, starved a bit, but alive, thank God for this fool dog. Ranger Rusty to her nuzzled closer, and she stroked him like family. Years in that touch. Scanned the room, then Spartan hellhole. Cans on shelves, but floor littered with papers, handwritten notes, faded military forms, journals thick with ink. Those, she nodded, voice sharpening. That's why I'm here, evidence. Copies of what I couldn't let die. I grabbed a stack, flipping dates from 82 to 91, Fort Glacier, assault reports buried under inconsistent statements. Women drummed out, officers promoted. Sexual assaults, she said, low and fierce. Dozens. My patient's nurse at the base clinic saw the bruises, the breakdowns, washed brass shred files and shipped girls off to nowhere. Me and my husband Walt, admin clerk, we squirreled copies, originals stashed safe, thought someday it'd matter. Her nephew Major Lyle Grant, her own blood, career climber who'd clawed up silencing just these ghosts, found out after Walt died, lured her to this family cabin for grief, then chained the door, starved her slow, demanding she burn it all or spill the vault code. He'd visit, all charm gone sour and Evie. Think of the family name, but when I held, he turned on Rusty here, beat him bloody, dragged him out to freeze, figuring the dog's loyalty would crack me. Rage coiled in me, hot and familiar Lyle, protecting his stars by erasing women like the ones who'd whispered to me in barracks. Don't report, they'll ruin you worse. That's when the engine growl hit, distant but closing, tires chewing snow. Rusty stiffened, growl rumbling deep, Evelyn's face paling. Him every few days, scraps to keep me ticking, but if he sees you. 10 minutes, tops. My Ranger brain snapped analysis, arm, adapt. Can you walk? Try me. But nah, not yet. I wedged by the door, Glock low, Pearl Evelyn gathering the sharpest files, Rusty guarding her cot like a shield. Footsteps crunched deliberate, pausing at the chain's absence. And Evie? Doors ajar, what the hell? Lyle pushed in, all 6-foot frame and civvies over his buzz cut, eyes sweeping her on the cot, papers everywhere, jaw tightening. Messy again? We talked about this dementia acting up. Can't have you wandering. Voice like oil on water, treating her like a kid caught coloring on walls. Evelyn silent, fists white-knuckled on her blanket. He knelt, scooping files casual. Offer Stan's vault code, and you're back in your sunny condo. Poof, bad dream. And if not, she fired back, steel sneaking in. We wait, old bones break easy out here, natural-like. Cruel as a field dressing, that tone, and it lit me up these same dismissals I'd heard in briefings. Collateral, move on. I stepped out smooth, barrel steady on his chest. Major Grant, I figure hands high, slow, or I paint the walls with your excuses. He froze, back to me, shoulders tensing like a spring soldier recognizing soldier. Turned deliberate, pale eyes calculating, no panic, just that cold way up. And you are? Someone who doesn't cotton to chaining family in the what's up, now. He rose easy, hands out, but I clocked the shift weight to his hip, fingers twitching for the pocket bulge. Don't, I snapped, voice desert dry. Whatever's itching you, it won't beat 9 mils. Misunderstanding, he soothed, smooth as snake oil. Auntie's confused brought her here for safety. Chains for her wandering spells. Bullshit rolled easy, but those papers screamed louder stamps, signatures, victim names crossed out like typos. Evelyn, I said, eyes locked on him. Tell me about these. She drew breath, steady now. Copies from Fort Glacier. 82 assault on Specialist Lena Hacio. Cornered her post-drill. Brass called it misadventure. Shipped her to psych ward, denied benefits. File 85 to 203, PFC Carla Ruiz. Gang job by her squad report vanished. She got the court-martial for fabrication. While cut and sharp, delirium old admin scraps, irrelevant. Irrelevant, I echoed, edge creeping in. Why the cage then, Major? Why beat a ward dog half dead to scare her? His mask slipped, jaw ticking. Necessary measures unit integrity over ancient gripes. Those incidents kept the machine running. Missions don't wait for tears. Rusty rose then, silent thunder, planting between Lyle and Evelyn. Eyes locked like Judgment Day personal. That stare, history in it. Your pup's got beef, I said, almost smiling. Rusty was base security bonded with Aunt Evie during her visits, got attached. When she turned squirrel on secrets, had to improvise neutralize distractions. Confession hung ugly, Evelyn's gasp cutting. You tortured him for me? Beat my boy and dumped him in the snow. Focus, enter choice, his noise. Clinical, like logging ammo counts. And it twisted something deep in meth banality of his evil, same as the officers who'd buried my reports, promoted on our silence. How many know? I pressed. Just us burn these. She fades quiet, problem solved. Threat plain, clockwork murder by neglect. Not today. Per Leveland clutched her stack, got the killer's chain up to generals. I nodded door ward. Out, Major slow, or Rusty gets dessert. He moved, buying seconds, pausing at threshold. You just lit a fuse, Harlan bigger than you, webs everywhere. Light it. Evelyn shot back, fire full now, high time. We bundled her out, me half carrying, Rusty flanking. Lala head under my sights, gold biting mean, her steps wobbling but willed, whispering regrets. Walt said wait for the moment never came. Fear one till Rusty dragged help through hell. His Humvee squatted half-mile down the rutted track, beast of a rig, and keys snatched from his pocket came with a smirk. Government wheels grand, theft now. Stack it with the rest. I growled, cuffing him tree-tight. Phone yanked, backup piece chucked into drifts. Tell your web we're airing it Vault 2. Locals won't touch this, he sneered. Tendrils deep your play ends bloody. Doubt wormed, but nods I'd beaten worse, with civvies counting on me. Cranked the beast alive. Evelyn shotgun clutching files, Rusty backseat sentinel, and we tore track ward, her spilling more. 42 cases, Sarah systematic, brass trading favors, victims ghosts for cohesion. Scope hit like a gut punch me ghosts too, reports I'd filed vanishing like smoke. Junction hit left to Frost Hollow Sheriff, right to interstate. Locals? I asked. Lyle's Golf Buddies Highway, Missoula, lawyer there, Dana Reese. Choose military brass for breakfast. Engine wine built behind lights, flickering trees. 3 SUVs, coordinated hunt. Trackers, I cursed, yanking the dash bug, flinging it, but too late locked on. Pushed south, ice slick under tires, Evelyn pale. How? Backup plan Lyle's not lone wolf, protecting the club. Truck stop loomed, neon oasis in black. Rigs hulking like guardians, I slotted close. Hauled her in. Booth Central, file splayed bold. Miss, to the waitress, urgent casual, 911 feds circling outside. We got proof of army dirt, need badges. She blinked, dialed. Truckers clocked the SUVs prowling, men in black spilling out, positioning. Evelyn raised voice, steady theater. These? Maps of Hell Army hid rapes, ruined reporters, promoted the wolves. Papers waved names, dates, ink faded but furious. Big hauler, grizzled as oak, lumbered over. Ma'am, trouble? Big kind conspiracy, they want this silenced. He scanned, whistled low. Official stamps, hell yeah. Boys, circle up. Booth swelled, diesel hands flipping files, murmurs rising. Bastards. My niece, Air Force, same shit. Outside, suits hesitated, windows framing their stall cameras from a news van I'd flagged earlier rolling live. Feds pushed door, badges flashing. Ms. Grant, warrants classified docs. Evelyn stood, frail but tower. Classified crimes? Arrest me on camera. Show America how you gag ghosts. Flashbulbs popped. Truckers bristling standoff electric. Air thick with triad growls. Reese swooped in next dawn, sharp as a bayonet. Missoula firm buzzing. Evelyn, grant your files? Goldmine, but we're dancing with dragons. Hospital first. Dr. Ellis patching her malnutrition scars. Psych, grind, deep butt eyes sparked. For Lena, Carla worth it. Media frenzy hit. My shack a circus, but I stonewalled, feeding Reese angles. Lyle's web, my buried report echoing theirs. Presser in Missoula ballroom. Evelyn at podium. Me and Rusty flank her voice, cracked but carving. Fort Glacier. 82 Lena Hayes, cornered by her LT. Report twisted to her fault. Suicide 2 years on. 85. Carla Ruiz 3 in her tent. Investigation inconclusive. She court-martialed for lies. Names dropped like grenades. LT. Harlan Voss, promoted to major. Sergeant Kip Randall, now colonel, policy shaper. Reporters leaned in, pens flying. Feds loomed doors, warrants waved, but Reese shredded. Crimes ain't secrets, Sarah, or own the blackout. Evelyn's kicker. Copies here, originals vaulted, and 10 more like me. Nurses, clerks, ready to swear. Room gasped network. Not lone cry viral by hour's end. Hashtags blazing glacier ghosts. Court hit like thunder federal bench in Helena. Judge Harlan Tatino relation. Thank Christ squinting files. National security on rapes? Explain, counsel. Gov's suit squirmed. Undermines command trust. Tate's eyebrow arched. Trust? Or cover? Reese pounced. Your Honor, this shields predators me client's torture proves it. More ghosts rose nurse Lila Voss. 89 clinic mate. Treated Carla's splits my self-command yanked my notes. Indictment snowballed. Lyle's aide, SGT. Marco Ruiz Ernie there flipped via secure line. Not lone 82 club. Officers rotating to bury files. Logs and archives. Called it Legacy Guard. Web cracked wide. Hearings join in D.C. Evelyn wheeled in. Me shadowing. Rusty vested official. Chairman, ex-vet Representative Tom Hale. Mrs. Grant, your valor testify. Her opener. No notes. Gut pure. Not accusing witnessing. These women saluted, served. We saluted silence, buried them alive. Voss testified remote, denial slick. Era differences consensual misreads. Evelyn eviscerated, voice whip. March 3rd, 82, supply shed Lena's bruises I cataloged. Your interview memo admitting contact. Her Noyet promoted you, shipped her. Composure shattered, committee grilling. Policy reward rapists? SEC def, Klein stonewalled. Reforms now address. Evelyn cut. Reforms? Lena's girl, 12 now without mom your address, too late. Silence thrummed. Cameras feasting min gallery. Fist clenched, tasting my own, unsaid wars. Health gnawed her Ellis warning. Adrenaline's finite. Sarah pushed too far. She breaks. But Evelyn waved it. For them? Borrow time. Settlement brewed. Pentagon cornered reporters at gates. Vets marching. Table in Helena courthouse. Suits across. Reese iron. Acknowledge full misconduct systemic. Comp for kin. Probes independent. No more ghosts. They folded. Voice flat. DOD admits failures 85 to 95. Assaults mishandled. Suppression criminal oversight office. Training on betrayals. Vaults unsealed. Judge Tate sealed it. Mrs. Grant, you forged justice from Chain's precedent for all. Law got 22 in federal Graber Evelyn's words at sentencing. Quiet thunder. Blood for badges. Nephew you chained family to chain ghosts. May your cell echo their screams. Voss, Randall conspiracy stuck. Bars for life fractions. Reforms rippled Indy probes mandatory. Whistle nets ironclad. My nonprofit birthed from it. Frost Hollow hub for broken rangers like me. Healing by hauling others out. Spring thawed the park paths where Rusty first dragged me to Hell's dorm. Evelyn, him circling the shack. Wildflowers mocking last winter's bite. Never figured a beat dog for revolution. I said, arm round her waist, her lighter now, but solid. Rusty didn't start it to finished each other's starts, pulled those 42 voices from ice, maybe iced a few tomorrows too. He woofed low, tail sweeping snowmelt, eyes saying mission logged. Sun dipped peaks gold. Us three against the quiet that once choked loyalties not leashes. It's the pull when chains snap, the fight when blood's thicker than ink. But here's the rub that keeps me up some nights. While rots, reforms shine, but how deep does the rot go still? One win, or just a patch on a system that chews its own? You tell Medrop in comments, what's justice look like when the house always wins? Did we break it, or just bend the bars? Hit like if this hit you. Share your ghost stories below. Let's unpack the chains we all carry. Subscribe if you're chasing truths like these. Next one's a gut punch you won't shake. Peace, till the wind calls again.